So our communication matrix now looks like this. We have a sender sending information to a receiver. The sender is sending the right information at the right time to the right person in the right manner, and we've made sure that the receiver is ready. The information that we're sending over is simple and concise. We've paced it well, and it's with the correct speed, and we're using good volume and good clarity with articulation. The information arrives with the receiver, and we've made sure it's relevant so that the receiver wants the information and is interested in what we're saying. And then think about, did they receive the information? Have we made sure that they've received the information? Following down from that, we've given the listener space and time so that they can process the information, which leads to the receiver understanding and comprehending what we say. So, if you cover these main points, you will be in the top 2% of the communicators on the planet. The thing is, there's a little bit more, and if you can crack this, you'll be in the top 1%. And I am, of course, talking about acknowledgements. An acknowledgement, an okay, or I understand what you're saying, or even a I get you type thing. In my opinion, the acknowledgement is the single most important aspect of communication. You know, when we acknowledge somebody, we're saying, I see you, I hear you, you are important to me and are valued to me. And when we make somebody feel important and valued, it's a very good thing for one person to do to another, in the way that I acknowledge you for spending the time on this training course. If the other person acknowledges what you've said, you then know that they've understood you. And that's the essence of great communication. So what do acknowledgements look like? As I mentioned before, an acknowledgement could be as simple as a nod of the head. It could almost be a widening of the eyes. It could be as basic as It could be a little word like okay. Or it could be more complex. They could say, I understand what you're saying. Do continue. Another more common form of acknowledgement is when the other party questions what you're saying. I'll give you an example. Our cheese has the strongest flavour on the market. If the other person asks, how do you know your cheese is the strongest? You know definitively that they have understood what you've said. You might not like the fact they've questioned what you've said, but they've certainly understood it. However, sometimes the other party doesn't acknowledge you. You just get silence or an unresponsive look or sound on the phone. If this happens, you have to go after the acknowledgement yourself. This is the very final part of communication, and it's the last part that changes you from a very good communicator to one of the world's best. And it's simply by doing this. If you have to go after the acknowledgement, you could say, does that make sense? Or, did you hear what I said? Or, did I make myself clear? Or, how does that sound to you? A simple question that requires them to respond and go, yes, I understood you. I get you. Or elicits a question. So now, when we look at the whole communication matrix, it'll look something like this. So the full communication matrix looks like this. We have a sender who's sending the right information at the right time to the right person to a receiver that is ready. The information, which is simple and concise, that is delivered, well paced and at the correct speed, with a good volume and clarity of articulation, that gets to the receiver that you've made sure has received the information, and because you've made the information relevant, the receiver wants or is engaged by it, we give that listener, the receiver, space and time so that they can process the information, which will lead to them understanding and comprehending what we've said. We will be looking for an acknowledgement that they've understood us. And if we don't receive that acknowledgement, we will check with the receiver to make sure that they understand you. This is the breakdown of human communication. Now, if you can make this work for you properly, there is nothing that you can't achieve and nothing that you cannot have. It is the secret to success on this planet. So I implore you to really learn it. So that concludes the communication matrix. Now, whether you're in sales, customer service, accounts, or any part of the work environment, good communication skills is a really important asset to have. And we're going to look at building good relationships on top of that communication next. I hope you've enjoyed this video.